Let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at the incredible and honestly kinda tragic story of the world's most revolutionary stadium. Imagine a building that completely flipped the script on sports, architecture, and engineering. But today, it just sits there, completely dark, stuck in this weird, decades-long limbo. So today, we are unpacking the fascinating history of the Houston Astrodome.
Seriously, picture a building so massive and just so unapologetically futuristic that it actually earned the nickname the eighth wonder of the world. No joke. It fundamentally changed how we experience live entertainment. For decades, the Astrodome wasn't just a spot to catch a ball game. It was a literal glimpse into the future of American progress. But how does that happen? How does the world's most famous stadium go from being the ultimate architectural marvel to just a silent, concrete ghost town? To really get why this crazy structure was even built, you have to imagine the absolutely brutal conditions of Houston's temporary open-air setup, Colt Stadium, back in the early 60s. We are talking oppressive, suffocating heat, sudden torrential downpours out of nowhere, and mosquitoes. Mosquitoes so legendary that fans are practically taking baths in bug spray just to survive 9 innings. People were literally getting heat stroke. So enter a marketing genius named Roy Hoffanes. His vision was, frankly, audacious. He wanted to bring the outdoors completely inside. The goal? A perfectly controlled 72-degree climate all year round.
Section 1. The Rise and the Innovation. You gotta remember, at the time, nobody had ever built a fully enclosed, air-conditioned stadium on this kind of massive scale. When it opened on April 9, 1965, it was just pure, unadulterated space-age optimism. It was an unmatched luxury experience. Think about the engineering here. An unprecedented 700-foot roof with zero, and I mean zero, supporting pillars in the middle to block your view. Opening day, President Lyndon B. Johnson was in the crowd. The ceremonial first pitches were thrown by 21 actual NASA astronauts. They even had a custom-built electronic scoreboard that put on spectacular, literal light shows. And my personal favorite detail, the ground crews, who they called Earthmen, would sweep the infield dressed in these wild, futuristic spacesuits. It was a masterclass in marketing.
But, bleeding-edge tech usually comes with some pretty hilarious, unforeseen consequences. Take the Great Grass Disaster. So the roof had these semi-transparent lucite panels, basically clear acrylic plastic designed to let the sun in. Well, those panels ended up causing a blinding glare. Outfielders literally could not see the baseball. High fly balls were turning into these dangerous invisible missiles dropping from the sky. So management did a quick fix and just painted right over the panels. Problem solved, right? Well, without natural sunlight, the real field grass instantly died. It turned into this giant brown dust bowl, which forced the management team to, I kid you not, literally paint the dead dirt green just to make it look half decent for the TV broadcasts.
Obviously, you can't play pro baseball on painted dirt forever. So stadium management turned to a brand new invention from the Monsanto company: synthetic plastic grass. And because it totally saved the day at the Astrodome, this stuff was forever branded with the name we all know today: AstroTurf.
Section 2. The Golden Era.
For the next 3 decades, the Astrodome was the absolute gold standard. Every other city envied it. And it wasn't just home to the Astros or the NFL's Oilers. The sheer variety of events here was staggering. In 1971, Daredevil Evel Knievel successfully jumped 19 cars right there on the stadium floor. Jump to 1973, it hosted the legendary Battle of the Sexes tennis match, Billie Jean King taking down Bobby Riggs in front of a roaring crowd of over 30,000 people. It was a massive music mecca too. Tejano superstar Selena played her final televised concert there in 1995, and country icon George Strait, he set an all-time attendance record with over 68,000 fans packing the dome. For 30 years, this building was literally the center of the entertainment universe.
Section 3. The Fall into Obsolescence.
But here's the funny thing about the future. It gets old really fast. The 1990s brought this brutal paradigm shift. Teams didn't want to share these massive circular multi-purpose domes anymore. The trend aggressively shifted towards specialized, single-sport stadiums, right? The ones with the fancy retractable roofs. To try and keep up, the Astrodome's beloved scoreboard actually had to be ripped out just to make room for luxury suites. And almost overnight, this once futuristic dome suddenly felt dark, cavernous, and just dated. This shift, by the way, is exactly why modern sports stadiums look the way they do today. It's all about highly profitable corporate luxury suites over raw seating capacity. Trying to be everything to everyone, it just stopped working for the Astrodome. And the exit of its major tenants was heartbreakingly fast. In 1996, the Houston Oilers got frustrated with the aging building, packed up, and moved to Tennessee. By 1999, the Astros played their very last game there before moving into a gorgeous new downtown stadium. The final nail in the coffin was in 2002 when the massive livestock show and rodeo moved literally right next door to the shiny, highly modern NRG Stadium. Just like that, the eighth wonder of the world was sitting completely empty.
Section 4. The final chapter.
But before the doors were permanently locked, the building stepped up for one final, deeply human moment. Back in 2005, when Hurricane Katrina just devastated New Orleans, the Astrodome opened up as a massive safe haven for 25,000 evacuees. For weeks, it provided refuge, a safe roof, a place to sleep for people who had lost absolutely everything. It was a profoundly beautiful, serious final act for a building that had spent its entire life dedicated solely to sports and flashy spectacles.
Today, it just sits silently in the shadow of its modern replacement, completely trapped by its own historic status. In 2008, the fire department declared the building non-compliant with safety codes, and the doors were officially locked to the public. So you're probably wondering, why hasn't it been demolished? Well, you can't just take a wrecking ball to it. It's heavily protected as a state antiquities landmark, and it's even listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Over the years, people have pitched these massive revitalization plans. We're talking everything from a giant indoor park to a luxury hotel, even a massive underground parking garage. But every single time they get close, the funding collapses or the voters reject the bonds.
The Astrodome stands today as a silent monument to this era when engineering was just fearless, unapologetically grand. And now it just casts this long shadow over a sea of asphalt parking lots. It leaves us with this really difficult tension. Do we preserve this massive physical time capsule of innovation, or do we accept that its time has passed, tear it down, and make room for modern infrastructure? What do you think the ultimate fate of the eighth wonder of the world should be?